Good morning, everybody. Hello. It's so good to see so many of you guys here. Hello, good morning. Hello, hello. Let's see, who do we got in chat here? We've got Patrick and Lexi and Tom, and we've got Allison and Kay and Simon. Hello, Simon. And Odell at brunch, but wanted to stop by and say hello. I hope you're having a yummy brunch, Dell. And bunny kisses. Yay. Hello. Good morning, good morning. Tarot Troubles here. Who else do we have in chat? Lots of people in chat today. Goodness gracious. It's so good to see all of you guys here. Hello, good morning. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Dustin, and this channel, Modern Metaphysicate, is about all things occult and esoteric with a very heavy lean on the tarot. And today I thought we could hang out and do another one of my sort of recent roundup videos. And I originally had planned this video to not be what it is today. I only had a few things to show. It was going to be a really chill live stream. And then the mailman blessed me yesterday with several packages and different Kickstarters and stuff and things that I had pre-ordered a while ago. And so I was like, okay, well, we're doing a haul now. So that's what we're doing today. I have quite a few things to share with you. As always, you guys, if you are interested in any of the things I'm sharing with you, there is a link down in the description box down below. Down there, you'll find all of my social media where you can reach out and connect, as well as a link to my personal website where you can book a tarot reading with me or even purchase some of my own handmade metaphysical goods. Let's see here. Yeah. No hat today. A lot of the predictions were off. I don't know why my chat is being weird. Give me 1 second here. Because I need to be able to see what you guys are talking about. That is very important to me. Whoops. Let's try this. Show the mug. Here's the mug. Oh my goodness. All right, looks like chat is working again. Chat was having a moment. So, yeah, I have a lot of things. A lot of things. As always, to you guys, if you have questions or comments or anything that you want me to see or read, you can type at Modern Metaphysicate. It will highlight it nice and bright on my screen for me, or you can do like all caps. But if I do miss it, just keep posting it. Sometimes chat can get a little busy, or I can just be ADHD brain and not see it. So yeah, how is everybody? Does everybody have something yummy? What's everybody drinking this morning? I made myself a vanilla cappuccino. I decided not to do a latte today. I wanted a little more foam, so we did a cappuccino, and it's really yummy. um, a tinfoil hat. Maybe someday. Someday we'll do like my favorite like I'll have to do like my favorite conspiracy theories or something, and I can wear a tinfoil hat for that. That'll be fun. Um Oh, this isn't new. This is a mug I've had for a while. Um let's see here. Goodness gracious. The sun mug. Just coffee. It's still the morning. I feel that. I feel that in my bones. Okay. Let's dive in. We'll get started with things. Um let's see here. Oh, you thought I was gonna have a new mug. No, no new mug today. Okay, so the I've only gotten one book since last month. Hello, Zohar. Um, Literally only one book, and this came at the recommendation. I know I've talked about her channel a few times on here, but the Cottage Fairy, she's one of my favorites. She took a break from YouTube because she had a baby, and I doubt she's watching this, but if she is, congratulations. But she was talking about books that have changed her life recently in one of her videos, and this one popped up. She reminds me a lot of myself and how she talks about like her anxieties and fears and things like that. And she said that this book really profoundly helped her with her own battle with anxiety, which for me is like a constant, you know, low hum in the background of my life. And so I picked this up. I read just a little bit, but it seems to be really interesting. So I'm very excited to dive into this. I've heard good things. This isn't the first time this book has been recommended to me either. I've had a couple of people, and it's been on my list for a while. But when she mentioned it, I was like, okay, I have to get it. And I was actually surprised. It's quite short. It's only like 150 pages, so I'll probably blow through this early next week, and then I'll be able to let you guys know how it was. But yeah, I'm really excited to dive in this. So this is the only book I've gotten in this past month. Um oddly enough. So it's been a little bit of a book dry month, one might say. So Fear Essential Wisdom for Getting Through the Storm is the only book that I've recently had come into my collection. Um Now I have quite the list of decks to share with you guys today. So the first one is these things. This is the mystical healing cards. So these popped up for me, oh, right after the last, I think last month's live stream where we did this. Excuse me, I have like coffee burps all of a sudden. Let's get a drink here. And I was really surprised. I remembered these coming out. I think these came out in 2020. Um, and for whatever reason, I didn't get them when they came out. But I picked them up, and I'm kind of obsessed with them right now. Um, the artwork on these. So first of all, it is it is a rock pool deck. It is not a big deck, but that's okay. I really love the artwork on these. And I also really love some of the sort of like key phrases. They're not keywords, they're like key phrases, right? Assimilate life experience, right? I love that. The backs are really lovely. They remind me of like Da Vinci's notebooks. And of course, this is just very, very my aesthetic, right? Awaken your vulnerability. There's a lot of like sort of alchemical and hermetic references in here. There's quite a few Gnostic references as well. Um, it's a really beautiful deck. I was quite surprised at um, at this one. Yes, this is the deck that I had mentioned to you, Simon, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. So I'm really enjoying it. It's pretty standard Rockpool cardstock. It's that like glassy, glossy Oracle sort of cardstock. Nothing kind of crazy in terms of that. And then as far as the size goes, um, pretty standard Oracle card size. This is standard tarot for those of you guys wondering. So yeah, I've been really, really kind of digging this. The guidebook's really interesting for this one. I will say that. I really think they did an excellent job on the guidebook. There is like a yes or a no card in here. There's a lot of cool things. Yeah, it's really beautiful. Practice positivity. I like that one. Release fear. Relieve anxiety. Relinquish control. I like that. Mm. Reverse disassociation. This one is really good. Self-respect. So yeah, this is really beautiful. The artwork is gorgeous. The messages are really good. The only thing that throws me about this deck is this card. So it's the only card in the whole deck that is horizontal. Unlock your heart. Which I just find like the artwork is beautiful, but I feel like out of the whole deck, if you're only gonna do one horizontal card, like that's kind of weird. Maybe not. So this is the only one that kind of throws me for a loop whenever I see it, because it's the only one that's horizontal. Um, But it's beautiful nonetheless. Um, I was quite surprised by this one. I'm enjoying playing with it and exploring it. Um, the guidebook, like I said, is really nice. So it's full color. The cool thing that I like about this guidebook. Oh, what are we doing here? My camera is being very cranky today. The only thing I do like the one thing that I really like about this guidebook is there's an action section down here. So, instead of it being like meditations or journal prompts or something, it's like something you can do, like do this thing, or like get up and do this thing, which I kind of really like. So the guidebook's really interesting. There's like a key phrase for each card as well, which is really nice. And yeah, it's a really great little book. So I was quite surprised by this. Like this really surprised me because I tend not to find much in terms of like my interest with rock pool stuff. And so this one did definitely throw me for a loop, and I was pleasantly surprised by this one. So check this one out. Mystical Healing Cards by Ina Segal. Ina Segal? Ina? I think it's Ina. It's probably Ina. So check that one out. It's a beautiful deck. Alrighty. Um is it linked to the is it linked to the Mystical Healing Oracle? I don't know. I didn't mystical mist mystical healing oracle by Ina Segal. Oh, it looks like it might very well be an earlier kind of. Ooh, I didn't know this was a thing. I think that might be the same thing. I think they may have just changed the name. How many cards are in this? Now you got me cooking here. Um, it doesn't say. I think it's the same thing, Simon. Maybe not. I don't know. It doesn't say how many cards are in it, though. I wonder if it's the same thing. I don't know. It may just be a new release of it. I'm honestly not certain. I'll have to. If there's more cards, I am all for that. So, well, we're gonna find out. I'm gonna order it right now. Hashtag Simon made me do it. Yeah, some of the cards are definitely the same, but we'll see. We'll see what it is. We'll see if it's different. But yeah, lovely little deck. Okay, so next up, what did I have on my list? I can't even remember now. Um, ah, yes. Where did it go? I got the latest Anima Antiqua deck. So I love these decks, you guys. Um, I've been collecting these for a while. I'm fairly certain I have everyone that's come out now. And I really love these. Um, so these are kind of like Los Scarabeiros answer to like all of the collector's edition um sort of historical decks. These all come hand numbered um out of usually around 4,000 decks. But they're all uh sort of reprints of historical decks that they can get the rights to print. This, of course, is a Minchiare, so it doesn't follow the traditional tarot structure as we are used to. It is very similar, though. But these decks are always really beautiful. I love historical decks. Um, that temperance, strength, anyone? Pillar? We all know I am a total nerd for tarot history, so I love these. Um, the cardstock on this one's really nice, by the way. So I was excited to get this one. And of course, being true, I love the little paisley backs too. I don't know if this is true to what we have. I'd have to research that. But yeah, you get all the zodiac cards, Pisces, and your minors, which are all, of course, very pippish. Beautiful, beautiful stuff. I do love me a good Minchiati deck. So, yeah, I was really excited to get my hands on this one. I love these. Been collecting them for ages. Um, I have number 563. So, yeah, that's the latest edition from them. Very excited to get my hands on this. This will join. Maybe one day I'll do a little like run through collection of all of my Anima Antiqua decks. But these are really affordable. I will say this, if you have an interest in sort of historical decks and you kind of want to dip your toes in it and you don't want to spend a ton of money, these are a great option because they're really affordable as compared to a lot of the other sort of historical deck creators out there because most of those are indie. So if you want to pick up some affordable sort of tarot history, this series of decks is really wonderful. They do go out of print pretty quickly though, so I will say this, like, the old, I think there's like only the last 5 that are still available, and I think there's like almost 20 now, probably more than that. I'm not even sure, to be perfectly honest. I have to look at the list. But they're really lovely. They always come in this same style of box, which is great. They've been really consistent about their packaging and stuff, which is really wonderful. So love, 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 love. Um, love it. All right. So there's that. Next up we have the Curious Travelers Tarot. So this deck, if you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I I love this deck. I love this deck. I've had this deck since it was an indie deck, an indie Kickstarter deck, which is this version right here. And I have loved them forever. This is my favorite kind of inner child deck. This is the deck I turn to all the time for kind of inner child work. So I was very happy to see that the creator was able to take this to mass market through US Games, and the US Games packaging is really nice. You get this nice big box, and you get a lovely guidebook in it. And the guidebook has some really cool kind of nuggets inside of it. You don't get what I love about this guidebook. I will say this, like, props to US Games, is that they used just kind of like the key sort of element from the card instead of the whole card to kind of save room on the guidebook, which I think is great. I love this. Great guidebook. Um, Now, the cards are quite different from uh, the indie version in terms of like the quality and print style. So I will say that there are a few little differences. So I'm going to talk about that briefly here. So it comes in one of these boxes. I am still very indifferent to the style of box. I don't mind it, and I will say that the US Games ones are really kind of nice and sturdy and they haven't been falling apart, which I appreciate. Um, but I still just, I don't know, not not a huge fan. So Let's see here. So yeah, the new edition comes on a linen cardstock, where the indie edition was on like a really subtle rose petal. Not a very like they still slide decently well, but it's more of a rose petal finish. You can see that the new mass market version is slightly bigger, so you do get bigger cards. Um, they also added the numeral to the major arcana. So previously there was no numbering on the major arcana, and there is numbering now. The other difference is the way the gold foiling is done. So the gold foiling in the indie version is quite subtle. You can see there's a little bit of a sheen to it, but it's not like glaring in your face, whereas this is very, very shiny. So I will say, um, the backs are identical, by the way, and you can also tell that the color saturation is just a little bit different, but that's pretty common when it comes to like different sorts of prints and stuff like that. Let's get to the Hermit so you guys can see a card by card comparison. But I love this deck. It's one of my favorites. There's the side by side. So you can see the indie version is just slightly cooler in terms of its printing, um, sort of color tone, but it's on point. The indie version is my favorite still, probably. I really like the cardstock on the indie version, but I really like the linen cardstock as well. So I'm really glad to see this. I will say um I don't know how I feel about the numbers being added. It's a little weird. I don't know. I don't feel like we need numbers. I don't know why US Games made that choice. Like I feel like I just don't know. I don't know why. Don't know why we felt the need to do that, but I love this deck. It's absolutely beautiful. I work with it all the time. The linen cardstock is really nice. I'm very happy that the mass market publishers have kind of caught on to cardstock, especially US Games. Like they're kicking it. Like they are kicking butt. So, but I love this deck. I will read with my for myself quite often with this deck. And it really pretty much hasn't left my reading table since um the indie version came out. So, love it. Just fast forward through some cards here. I love this Eight of Cups. Ah, it's so beautiful. Yeah, that Hermit card isn't he? He's amazing. This deck is really, I don't know, like I say it's a very sort of inner child deck for me, but at the same because the art style for me is very evocative of kind of that phase in my life. But this is just like a very modern take on the I love the elephant family as the Ten of Pentacles, by the way. This just makes me so happy. I love elephants. When I worked at the Renaissance Festival, there's a company who rescues elephants, or takes like retired elephants from zoos and like circuses and stuff that would come to the Renaissance Festival, and they would set up the elephants so people could look at them, and take donations and stuff because they're a nonprofit. And I just love the elephants. They're like the kindest, most intelligent creatures ever, and I just love them. So yeah. And this is the extra card, by the way, the Travelers. So beautiful deck. Um, it's amazing because I will say this, like, had this been the indie version of the deck, like this cardstock, box, packaging, everything, like I would say it's worth every penny that I paid for this, right? But it's half the price. So, yeah, I'm really really glad to see this one get into more people's hands. I did see in chat someone mentioned that some of the indies are still available. They are. So if you like if you like the rose petal finish more, you can pick up the indie version. Of course, you are going to end up paying a little bit more for that. So, you know, just be aware of that. But the the US games version is just as good as any indie deck, in my opinion. Yeah. So that is the Curious Travelers Tarot. All right. Coffee. Let me check chat here. Um yes, you do need to get it. It's really good. It's really good. I agree. Yeah, Mass Market's been like really kind of knocking it out of the park. US Games has been doing an exceptional job on their cardstock and their packaging. The only ones we need to get caught up are Llewellyn. And I don't know what their deal is. I don't know who's making the decisions at Llewellyn, but if you're watching Llewellyn, like you guys are like I'm at the point now where I've stopped just buying new Llewellyn decks unless it's something that really profoundly strikes me or is something that everyone is like, you have to get this. The last Llewellyn deck I got was the Good Fortune Tarot, which is a beautiful deck, and the cardstock is terrible. It's a linen cardstock and it's awful. The artwork is beautiful. The book is really interesting. There's some really cool things in it. But the cardstock does a disservice to it because they're still putting all their money into these boxes and these giant guidebooks on magazine paper that just don't warrant the reduction in quality of the deck. The thing that we are buying this product for is the deck. And that should be where the majority of the bomb, right, the bill of materials is going in order to produce a quality product. And their cardstock just misses the mark every time. Llewellyn quality rant over. um all right. What do we got next on the list, friends? Curious Travelers. Oh, okay. Tarot of the Pauls. Okay, so this was 100% as Simon made me do it. I don't know if Simon's still in chat. Um, but so I passed on this when the Kickstarter came out. I was like, I don't need that. I already have the Serpent the Peacock. I love that deck. I also have a couple other sort of medieval style tarot decks that I love. I was like, I don't need another one. I don't need another one. Stop. Nah. And then I kept sawing it pop up on um all the places, and I was like, okay, I'll get it. And I will say I'm so glad that I did, because it you guys, the quality on this is so good. First of all, can we talk about this box? Look at this box. Like the quality on this box, this is like taking um indie decks to a new level. Like this is amazing. I was shook about how nice this box was. And then inside, you get the deck and you get this beautiful little faux leather bound book that's embossed. Hello? What? Like, what is this? It's so good, you guys. It's so good. And it's gilt, like the quality on this is out of this world, just out of this world. I was amazed. So great little guidebook. Pretty standard entries in terms of like card meanings and things like that. But beautiful. Just look at this thing. I was like, no flipping way. And so then because I don't know if you guys remember, but back when the camera, I need you to focus. When the Kickstarter for the Oracle deck was floating around. Uh-oh. I think my camera just crashed. What's going on here? Let's fix this. Oh no. Am I still there? Let me know if I'm still there, chat. I'm hoping my. There we go. Please, please make me hate the cards. Did someone just say that? That's a no way. All right, cool. There we go. We're back. We're back. Okay. So the cards, you guys, the cards are so beautiful. So as soon as I got this in my hands, I instantly backed the Oracle deck that's coming out that's in the same style. So yeah, do what you will with that. But these cards are great. I will say the hard thing anytime you're dealing with like medieval manuscript art and things like that, it's hard to get them to scale up to this size and still look really good. And I think the creator of this did an excellent job. The backs are really lovely, by the way. Here's the certificate. But the backs are really lovely. They're foiled, all that kind of fun stuff. Um, I really love the little kind of numeral printing and the fact that the titles are all done in this like foil. It's just really well done. There's only a few cards on this that I was kind of like, I maybe would have picked a different image that had higher resolution. But sometimes that's hard to tell when you're taking something to print. But overall, I would say the vast majority of the cards came out in a really good way. So, um, love it. Let's get to, we're in minors right now. So there's our Two of Swords. I love that she's blindfolded. As you can see, it very much follows kind of the traditional RWS sort of format. So it does lean that way. But the cards are really nice. I was look at this Ace of Cups. Isn't that beautiful? Okay. Two of Cups. There's our Eight of Cups. Which I dig, actually. I really dig. I love this Knight of Cups. Okay. So, oh, here's our majors. Magician. There's a lot more Byzantine art as well, I've noticed in this deck than the previous one. So this chariot one is really interesting because you have him like running over the king. I love this hermit. Great wheel. So this is one of the cards I was talking about, the Justice card. When you kind of look at it closely, like it looks good, but I think like a higher resolution image would have been better. I love the Hangman, but again, it's hard because this is like the actual size of this figure is probably about like that big in a manuscript, so it's difficult, right? When you're working with like manuscript art and stuff like this is an illuminated R, right? So you can see that this came probably from a book of hours or something. And so this is much larger than it would actually be in real life. And then you have two significator cards. But I really love it. I think it's really beautiful. I wouldn't say that it's haphazard. I would say that the choices of imagery are actually very intentional. I would actually strongly disagree with that. In my opinion, I think they're very well chosen, right? And sometimes it's hard, like when you're because this I'm sure was produced digitally and then sent for print, and sometimes things look on a screen way better than they look when they come out of a printer. So, but yeah, really love it. I actually like it more than the serpent and the peacock. That was really loud. I apologize if that if that hurts your ears. And the box is gorgeous. So that is the Tarot of the Paul's Moon. What else did we have on the list? Oh, the Chromatic Fates Tarot. So this one, this popped up for me a few times, and I bought this on a whim. This was a total standing in line at the store candy bar purchase. I was on Etsy. I don't remember what for. And this popped up, and I was like, okay, I'll buy it. And I was quite surprised. I was quite surprised by this deck. Um, it's really, really lovely. So this is like a 78 tarot kind of situation. The deck is produced by several different artists. Um, and a lot of these names you may recognize, but the artwork in this deck is absolutely gorgeous. The production is really nice. Um, and I love the foiling on this deck. The backs are really cool too. Love the backs. Um, the way that they handled the titles and stuff is it's really subtle, but it's really elegant. So you get the title of the card at the bottom, and then you get the artist's name up here on the frame at the top, which is really cool. So let's see if I can, so you guys can see. But they're really gorgeous cards. Now, obviously, being a deck that several different artists contributed to, it's not going to have a super cohesive art style, but I will say the way that they did the foiling and kind of the way that they handled the deck, it feels really cohesive. So I was quite surprised. I love these kinds of decks. I know they're not for everyone, um, but I love these sort of like collaborative, everybody do a card thing. Um, Look at that two of pennant. Look at that thing. It's so beautiful, and I love. Oh, God, it's just a lot of the depictions of the cards in this deck are really cool. The card stock is it's really nice too. I don't know what kind of card stock this is exactly, but look at that. King of Swords. The Six of Cups. That kind of like nostalgia thing. I love it with like tea party with your stuffed animals. Love it. Here's our full. Majors are really beautiful. Yeah, this is probably the best collaborative deck I've seen in a long time. Like it feels very cohesive. Star card. I love this moon. It's really well done. Like I would love to see a deck from all of these creators, right? Like so really beautiful. Does come with a little guidebook. The guidebook's nothing to write home about. Um, very, very kind of basic, but it does the cool thing about the guidebook. I will say this, bravo, because the guidebook does list where you can it has like the website or the Instagram or whatever for each of the artists, which I think is great. So if there's a card that you are particularly in love with, right, you can connect with the artist via their website, which is listed in the book, which I thought was wonderful. So a great little collaborative deck. I was quite impressed. Also, I do want to also point out the size of these cards are actually just a little narrower than standard tarots. So they're like an RWS border, um, more narrow. So they're just a little bit. So, which I kind of like. So it's a really beautiful deck. I was quite surprised by this, and I've only done a couple readings with it, but I've really enjoyed it so far. So that's the Chromatic Fates. Okay, how are we all doing? I told you guys this was going to be a haul. All right, next up we have the Scarab and Dahlia Tarot. So this, of course, everybody's been talking about. Um, I I have nothing bad to say about this deck. Um, my little Scarab that I got, by the way, is right here. But this is a really wonderful collage deck. I love the size of the cards. It is an oversized deck, so if you're someone who likes smaller cards, probably not for you. But I really love this deck. It's beautiful. The choices that the creator made in sort of the imagery used in the collage is really beautiful. It's very cohesive. It doesn't feel like the thing that I struggle with a lot with collage decks is that sometimes they kind of feel like a middle school art project. And I mean that in the best way possible. But when I look at them, they just feel very amateurish, like someone was cutting pictures out of a magazine and kind of pasting them together. This doesn't feel like that at all, and I really, really love it. Um, so I've been really enjoying exploring this one. Like it's very thoughtful and profound. I love all the lovers cards, by the way. There's like several kind of different lovers renditions that you can choose from. The card stock is amazing. I love the size of the cards. They are big cards, so you quite a bit wider and quite a bit taller. But yeah, this deck is amazing. So I will absolutely be doing a review on this after I spent a little more time with it. For those of you who may not know this, most of all any if I put up a review, it's a deck that I've worked with for at least 2 weeks. If it's a deck that I get in that I just have the like sudden urge to share, I will always post that as a unboxing or first impressions video. So anytime I do a review, you can be certain that I've worked for with it for this deck card is amazing for at least a couple of weeks. So I do love all the alternative cards that you get in this too. It's really cool. I love this deck. Every time I pick it up, I'm just like, this deck is amazing. The miners are great. Follows very much the RWS um, style. So really great little collage deck. Skip through some of these here. Look at that Two of Swords. Oh, so good. That is a wonderful. Look at that. And the detail. Like, there's such great detail in these cards. And I also love how a lot of it's like mixed media. So there's like you can see in this one, right? There's a photograph. There's like watercolor, and like you can see that like the shadow was added. Like it's very intentional, right? It doesn't feel like a quick like let's just hack up some magazines and paste it all together, which I really love about it. Oh, the Seven of Swords. So good. It's just wonderful. This whole deck is really wonderful. Got Four Cups. Mm. And I love too how there's like vintage photography used as well as modern photography. Like it's great. Great deck. Great deck. So this came in. Very excited about this. Scarab, and Dahlia. And I've heard some interesting names for this deck. I will say that much. All right. What else do we got on the list here? Oh, the System Oracle. This was a Tom made me do it. Early Ritual posted this in our community Discord. And speaking of, if you are interested in joining our channel membership program, there is a link down in the description box. It's a really cool program where you can get access to our community Discord server where we all hang out and chat and talk about everything from tarot to current events to memes to recipes, etc., even beauty products, all kinds of fun stuff. But if you're interested in joining that, check out the Scholar Metaphysica link in the description box down below. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe if you haven't done so already, because it really does help the YouTube algorithm monkeys to grow the community, okay? All right, so back to um, this. Is the Tarot of Paul's Moon available, or did you have to be on the Kickstarter? It is available. You can get it off of their Etsy shop, which is linked in the description box. It's also available as an add-on to their to their new Oracle deck that they're doing, which is currently on Kickstarter, so you can get it that way as well. Ooh, snail pics. Laura posts some amazing snail pics. All my snails were out this morning. In fact, when I woke up and I looked at my tank, all my little Nerad snails were cruising around the tank. They're very happy. Okay, so the System Oracle. So Tom posted a picture of this in Discord, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to get that. And first of all, the box. The box is really lovely. It's a square deck. It comes with a nice little guidebook. There is a box inside of the box, which is not always my favorite thing. Um, I don't know why they chose to do that, but it's a thing. But it comes with a nice little guidebook, which for the few times I've read with this now, I like the entries. I love Daniel Martin Diaz's artwork. In fact, the Earth Magic, his tarot deck, is sitting right here, which is really lovely. I read with it quite often. It sits on my desk pretty much all the time. I don't think I've really ever filed that away. But this is a great little oracle. His um, how would I describe his art style? It's like uh Renaissance engraving meets surrealism meets like occult metaphysical. It's really kind of its own thing, but I love it. I love it so much. Square cards, by the way, linen finish. This is produced by the same folks who do the Pagan Otherworlds deck, so identical kind of quality to that. It's so cool. The keywords are really cool. Entropy. Oh my god, look at that. I just love his stuff because it's like always this blend of like nature and technology meets like spirituality, and like it's really interesting. Really cool deck. I think it's how many cards? Someone asked. I think it's 60. Yeah, 60 cards, and then you have two kind of bonus cards. These are the bonus cards. So yeah, really cool deck. Very very glad I pulled the trigger on this one. He did another Oracle deck recently that I was not terribly impressed by. But this one knocked it out of the park. Yeah, I really like the keywords in this one. So that's the System Oracle. Very different too. It's not well, like that's the cool thing about his artwork is like his stuff is not for those. There's a couple people who asked who want to see this. Where is my? I don't know where my letter opener went. The this is his tarot. I'll show it really quickly here. Really cool deck. I typically use Oracle decks mostly for clarification or for like an additional message at the end of a reading. I mean, you can read with it however you want, right? There's no tarot police. But I work with Oracle decks pretty much universally the same. I'll pull them for like one card messages when I just need like a quick kind of like vibe check on something. I'll use them for clarification in a reading where like a card pops up in a position and it's ambiguous or doesn't quite fit the situation. Or I'll use them for like a final kind of piece of advice or kind of overall message for a reading or something like that. That's kind of how I read with Oracle decks. And that goes for all Oracle decks, not just that one. Okay. So that's the System Oracle. And last, but certainly not least, how are we doing on time? Oh, we're doing good. Okay. Last but certainly not least is the Obscuro Tarot. So this finally came in. It came with this cute little coin, which I actually kind of dig this coin. It's pretty unique. It's like a sun and moon coin, and it's like very how to explain this? Like the relief is quite large, you can see, but it's a cool little coin. I dig these little coins. They're fun. I have like a whole bowl of them now. And it comes with the guidebook. I did not get the cloth. So the guidebook on this is really interesting. I have not had time. This literally showed up yesterday, guys. So I've not had a lot of time to like dig into this. But one thing I really like about the guidebook is there's a whole section on the symbolism of the cards. You get the sort of the astrological association of the card. You get a little meaning, and then you get kind of like a interpretation, right? So, and then on this side, there's kind of like a narrative, I guess is the best way to explain it. So the guidebook's really interesting. Now, the cards themselves, this kind of follows the way that this is set up is kind of like it's like a hybrid. It's kind of Thothy, it's kind of RWS, it's kind of Marseille. The photography in this is amazing. So for those of you who don't know, I have an art degree. I have a Bachelor of Fine Arts, and I went to art school, learned painting, sculpture, printmaking, all that kind of fun stuff. But the medium that I chose to emphasize in was classical darkroom photography. And so when I saw a sort of a darkroom style tarot deck, I of course had to get it. And the artwork in this is the photographs in this are stunning to say the least. The quality of the deck is really nice. The backs are lovely. It's got that really kind of matte gilding, which I kind of like. I love the choice to kind of just slightly sepia this, just ever so slightly, right? It's not true monochromatic. It's very they pushed it just into the sepia space, and it works so well. Um, and I was just quite surprised. I've not kind of figured out how personally I'm gonna read this, like in terms of like the system. Like, am I gonna lean more into like more of a Marseille way of reading this? Because when we get to the minors, you'll see they're much more pippish, um, and the imagery doesn't quite lend itself to one system. But I love the imagery. The photography is amazing. Like, this is like museum quality art photography. It's gorgeous. Um, love it. Um, the tactile, I mean, it's just rose petal finish. It's just subtle rose petal. It's the same cardstock that the Curious Travelers indie is. It's identical in my opinion, and I don't mind it. So yeah, this is a really cool deck. Definitely not for everyone. I will get that. If you don't like it, that's okay. um, I really love this. I mean, the photography is phenomenal. Um, yeah. So you can see that the miners are more hippish, right? I love the aces. The aces are so well done. And the print quality, I mean, let me see if I can, come on. Camera does not want to focus. The print quality is really good. Like, I love this Nine of Pentacles. It's like in a bamboo kind of forest, but it's really, this whole deck is really clever. It's really well done. It's gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. I love that the Knight of Swords is like on a floating rock. Like, that's so cool. Oh, I love the backs of this deck. I love the backs. And these are the backs that they showed on Kickstarter. I love the backs. Oh, okay. So, and then after, at the end of the deck, you get like this mini kind of um oracle kind of thing. So there's a key and a lock, and then you have the zodiac. So Aries, Cancer, Scorpio, Aquarius, Sagittarius, Libra, Taurus, Gemini, Capricorn, Leo, Virgo, Pisces, and then this beautiful card. Oh no, I love the choice of the sort of green. That's kind of why I think they pushed it to the CPS spectrum, and I like that. I like that juxtaposition. Like, it's really interesting to me. I think it's beautiful. So I'm really happy with this deck. I'm very excited to kind of explore this. This is very much, I think, going to be kind of like a shadow working deck for me. Um, and again, like I said, I'm not entirely sure yet how I'm going to approach this systematically in terms of like how I'm going to interpret things. The majors again, like it leans RWS, but you can see elements of Thoth and you can see elements of um sort of Marseille in the deck, but I'm gonna dig into the guidebook some more before I kind of make a choice. This is very much kind of a first impressions on this deck because I've literally had it less than 24 hours. So yeah, a tarot obscuro. Love it. Um all right. Let's see here. Make a little room. My chair is getting so squeaky. Mm, where there was another question I saw. If I'd seen a deck and I missed it. Have I heard of Erica Teese's Shadowlight Tarot? Why does that sounds familiar? Eric, I think I have that deck, but I'm gonna make sure because I don't want to misspeak. Yes, yeah, I have this deck. Yeah, I backed it when it was a Kickstarter. It's really beautiful monochromatic deck that all of the art kind of ties together into one one image, which is really cool. Um, but yeah, I have that deck. I haven't used that deck in quite some time, but it's a lovely deck. So I will say this. I think the creator posted about listing the extra decks on her Instagram. Um, there she doesn't have like a website or anything right now. I don't know if she's planning on like putting together a website or an Etsy shop to sell those, or if she's gonna sell them through her Instagram or whatnot. But I did link her Instagram in the description box down below. So if you are interested in picking up the Obscuro, you can follow there. Yes, she does have another deck. I mentioned it on the last episode of upcoming and new releases. It's like a Renaissance deck. It's like a plant and Renaissance based deck. It looks really good. It looks really good. I'm really excited for that one. So yeah, very excited for that. Any other questions, by the way? Now's a great time to ask questions. Excuse me. More coffee. But yeah, she has a couple of decks in the works actually, and I think on her Instagram, she's shown some of them, if I remember correctly. Let's look here. Yeah, she's got a couple of them on her Instagram, like the the artwork for them. So beautiful stuff. I'm just reading through chat here, making sure I didn't miss anything else. Um, yep. One at a time. That's usually I've done like whole spreads of Oracle. I know for um this is to go back to the question I had about like how I use oracles. I have done a couple of times where I've taken an oracle deck and used it like a tarot deck and done like an entire spread. In fact, I did. Didn't I do? I feel like I did a month of tarot scopes. So for the channel membership program, every month I do a set of tarot readings, which are like horoscopes mixed with tarot. So what I do is I take and I group all of the zodiacal sun signs basically by element, and then I do readings for each elemental grouping, and the reading I do is elementally based. And I think I do one. I don't know. It was like a year ago now. Didn't I do one where I just used an oracle deck for it? I feel like I did. I don't. If I can't remember. If I haven't, maybe I should do that. That would be fun. But I've done that a couple of times where I'll do a reading with just an oracle. And typically when I do that, it's specifically because someone asked me to, um, or because I feel like it's the best sort of tool for the situation or the question at hand. It's very rare that I do that. Like I said, typically when I read with oracle cards, it's very much I'll pull it out to clarify something, or I'll pull it to give like a final message in a reading. This is one of my go-tos that I always have around. It's probably my favorite oracle deck, which is the Sacred Destiny oracle cards, and I love them. So yeah. How many cards are there in the mystical healing reading cards? I think there's 36. I don't remember now. I think there's 36. Bye, Simon. Yeah, 36. There are 36 cards. Ooh, I'm excited for the Telos Tarot too. Mm, all right. I don't see any more questions, and we've been going for an hour, which is crazy. But like I said, I got what? So the mailman brought me yesterday. He brought me the Obscuro. He brought me the Chromatic Fates, and he brought me the where did it go? The System Oracle. So I had a good meal day yesterday. So it this rapidly turned into a haul. So yeah, that's everything. Don't forget, like I said, to like and subscribe and all that fun stuff. I really appreciate all of you guys coming to hang out with me today and check out some of the decks that have come into my collection and books and things and whatnot. I did get a lot of crystals, by the way, recently. I did not pull any of those out because that would be a lot. I went to the Denver Gem Show. I might do a video on that. I don't know. I've got to like separate my stuff from like the shop, and I haven't even touched those boxes yet. Like it's been a week. But maybe soon. So, but yeah, I really appreciate all of you guys coming and hanging out with me today. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. And always remember and never forget, you guys, that everyone is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. So be kind to one another out there. And we'll see you guys back around YouTube. Bye, everybody.